All right, everybody. 3-minute delay. Sorry about that. It's only my second live video, so getting set up takes a little bit of time. Getting my kids organized, getting them some snacks to eat while I'm cooking so that they're not all over the place claiming that they're starving to death as I'm making their food. My mom watched my last couple of videos and recommended that I get a tripod of some kind so that my hand isn't shaking or you guys aren't sitting on my counter blinded by a sugar bowl or whatever. So the only hard part about it is it's too far that I cannot read the comments. So if you see me glance over here, I have my iPad up so that I can see what you guys are saying so that I can respond if you have questions. Another thing I'm going to do, and if you guys want to do it with me, I would appreciate it, but I'm going to share this live video on my Facebook page so that people can find it easier. I did go on live earlier today and explain that if you're watching my live video right now and you want to be notified anytime I go live, in the upper right hand corner there are 3 dots. You click the 3 dots and it will say turn on live notification. If you turn this on, anytime I go live, Facebook will send you a notification inside the app. Just like if you were to get a like or a comment of some kind or somebody tag you in something, it will give you a notification saying Mom Fueling Hungry Boys has gone live. Click if you want to view the video, and you can click and it'll take you straight there, which may make it easier for some of you guys to navigate and be notified in case you aren't on your phone all the time and want to be notified when I go live about things. So that's the first step. The second thing, I'm going to share this to my personal Facebook page. If you want to do that right now, in the bottom left hand corner there's a share button. You can either do a watch party. I'm not entirely sure all the rules and guideline regulation, whatever that goes around a watch party, if they're able to comment inside of this or if it is a separate thing. But I'm just going to go and hit right post, and I'm just going to type in there, come cook with me, and then hopefully some more people can find my video that maybe don't have the live notifications set up yet. So come cook with me, posting it on my personal Facebook page. Got that done. And then I will make it so that I can see everybody's comments, and then we will get started. All right. Well, I don't know. I guess we will see if it'll let me look at the comments from here. Who's ready to cook? What have you guys been doing today? All right, I've got thanks for the suggestion. So it must not show me any of the previous ones. I guess we will see. We've got Isabella is screaming, "Hi Riley, hi Isabella." Well, I better not say her name too loud. Kingston will run over here and demand that she comes and plays. So, but, all right. So I've got that going. Let's start. I hope everybody had a good day. Mine was busy, hectic. Thursdays, my boys are in daycare together, so I have 1 day a week that I can get some of my appointments and stuff done. So I've been running around doing that all day. But let's get started. Don't hesitate to post a comment, a question. If you are stuck on a step, don't understand a step, missed a step, felt like you're in a different world in the kitchen than I am, just say, hey, can you repeat what you just did, or let me know what step I missed, and we'll go from there. Okay, so step 1 is going to be to preheat our oven. 425 for our oven, so just do that. Everybody check inside of your oven, make sure you don't have any pans in there, old food in there, toys. You never know when you have kids or when you know, just need an extra place to store something. So check your oven before you turn it on. We don't want any kitchen fires or melted toys today. That happens. In my family, we get toys in there. So I am worried it is not showing me some of these comments, but that's okay. I think it's just taking a second to get updated. Okay, so some of you may have taken my advice earlier in the week and earlier today and cooked your chicken ahead of time, but I have not. If you have cooked your chicken ahead of time, just sit back, relax, take a second, pour yourself a glass of wine, do something that you need to. I'm gonna grab my chicken. It's been thawing in the sink today, and then we'll get started. All right, so we have our chicken breasts. Like in the recipe, it says 2 cups of shredded chicken, about 2 big chicken breasts. I do a little bit more than that because it never hurts to have some extra cooked chicken around your kitchen. If for a salad, to make a quesadilla, something quick on the fly, it's always nice to have some cooked up stuff ahead of time. So I am going to grab my pan. You want it big enough so that the chicken can lay flat and not layer it too much. If they're sitting there on top of each other, they don't have a tendency to cook thoroughly if they're overlapping and can't get surrounded by the boiling water. Yeah, I'm not sure why the comments are not coming up on my phone or my iPad. Let me see if I can scoot this closer so that I can see what you guys are saying. Let's see if this will be too close for everybody. Probably, but we will try and make do. Let's see. Yeah, because then we lost our counter space a little bit. Bear with me, guys. Maybe I'll just angle you off to the side so that we can get our countertop in there and I can still read. Okay, so let's try that and see what happens. Okay, so I've got my chicken breasts. I am going to, oh, it looks like, just kidding, I must have thought out chicken tenderloins, you know? I guess I should have read the package. But they will cook the same way, they just may cook a little bit faster. So I'm just gonna layer them in the bottom of my pan. I did post a recipe on my post that I did 2 hours ago about a quick way to cook up some chicken so that you can shred it for this recipe. In the recipe, it says to use chicken broth. I have noticed that the chicken broth makes it super salty. There is a little sodium chicken broth that you can buy, but what I have actually preferred doing is just using water and seasoning the chicken before I put the water on it. So you can do salt, pepper, Lowry's, paprika, cayenne pepper, whatever you think would go well with kind of a Mexican dish that would work. You can also buy things like this in the store. It's an enchilada seasoning. It's got salt, spices like chili powder, cumin, onion, and things like that. So I just sprinkle it over the top of my chicken before I cover my chicken in water. I'm gonna go wash my hands and fill this up with water. I didn't want to ever have to go out of the screen while I was cooking, but I think it's gonna take a little trial by fire to get the right camera positioning. I am still just trying to figure out why I cannot see some of these comments that were said earlier. Yeah. Like I couldn't see. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. So. I'm over here at the sink. You want to cover your chicken with chicken broth or water. Just enough to cover the chicken. So let's turn this a little bit. Just enough to cover the chicken. I'm going to put it on the stove. I'm going to turn it on to high heat until it starts boiling. My next step is going to be, while that's cooking, for those of you that had your chicken ready already, we are going to start our white enchilada sauce. Some of you may not have noticed in the recipe that is basically why they call it the white chicken enchilada. Obviously, we're using white meat, but it's more of the sauce base that gave it its name. So I'm going to start with that, and then we'll skip back to the shredded chicken layer. For those of you that have already cooked your chicken, let's tune back in. Get in your kitchen, get ready to cook. We are going to start that. I do want to move this camera angle so that you guys can see the stove closer to me so that I don't lose you guys in the process trying to talk to you from across my kitchen. Hi, Dad. I'm sure you're hungry. You've been working all day. I wish you were here to come eat with us. I'm sure you would help put a dent in these enchiladas since Rory isn't here. He's out working. But I do have my friend Bree here watching the boys, and she is super excited for these enchiladas. She has even questioned, am I allowed to have any? So she's excited. But we are going to start with this. Don't mind, I will refer back to this. I don't have it memorized, so we can look at our recipes together. Our first step is going to be grabbing a medium-sized saucepan. So reach into your cupboards, grab your medium-sized saucepans, your favorite pan, and let's get it on the oven or on the stove. If you're just tuning in, let's preheat our ovens to 425. 425 for the enchiladas. Check your oven before you turn it on. Make sure there's no pots, pans, old food in there, toys, whatever, before you crank it up to 425, because that will melt some fun stuff really fast. Hi. Oh, hi from North Carolina. I think my dad's from Texas. Anybody else? You want to comment where you're cooking from? That's kind of exciting to see, how far my kitchen has reached to your kitchen. But we are going to do 3 tablespoons of butter. I use salted butter. You can use unsalted butter. It is all a preference to how much salt and sodium that you want in your meal. So I'm going to use my knife and cut just 3 tablespoons out of my stick of butter. And apparently throw the other tablespoon onto the floor. We're going to put that into our saucepan. We are going to turn our saucepan. I kind of like it on like medium-high heat at first to kind of get it warmed up, get it going. I don't know if any of you are cooking your chicken with me. If you are, mine is starting to boil. Oh, we've got somebody watching from Ireland. That's exciting. I wonder what time it is in Ireland right now. Once it starts to boil, your chicken, we're going to switch over really quick while our butter is melting. So turn your stove on to medium to high heat initially to start this butter melting. Oh, Montana, hi. How are you, Chrissy? How are the boys? All of them? We are going to while our chicken is starting to boil, we will, yeah, I'm gonna wait for it to boil a little bit harder than that. So, we've got our butter, it's starting to melt. Once our butter is melted, we're gonna do 3 tablespoons of flour. So while you're waiting for your butter to melt, grab your tablespoon. I will grab mine, tablespoon. And once the butter is melted, we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of flour into our butter. What that does is it, I believe it's called a roux. It's using flour and something fatty to create like a thicker paste to help thicken sauces, soups. I use it to thicken my mac and cheese, things like that. So we've got Rhode Island as well. 12 in the morning. You apparently have the munchies over there in Ireland. Okay. So, waiting for our butter to melt. I use a soft-sided whisk for this step with my butter and my flour. Let's switch back over to the chicken. Mine is doing a full rolling boil now. So I'm going to cover it, and we're going to turn the heat down so that it's just at a nice simmer. And we're going to cook it for 10 to 15 minutes. Since mine are tenderloins, I'm going to err on the shorter side of the time. I'm going to do 10 minutes and let this, hopefully these little chicken tenderloins to cook up. Hopefully your guys' butter is starting to melt. Hopefully you have your tablespoon out and getting ready to make this roux for our sauce. The next couple of steps, we're going to need our sour cream. We're going to also need our chicken broth. So you're going to need, I explained in my dessert making video that my great friend who's actually watching and cooking with me right now, Ashley Olson, taught me the difference between a liquid measuring cup and a solid measuring cup, which I didn't know existed. But so for our chicken broth, we're going to want to use a liquid measuring cup. And for things like a sour cream, we want our solid measuring cup. So make sure you grab those out of your pantry. I will grab mine right now. You're also going to need some spatulas maybe to scoop out this sour cream. So grab a spatula while we're waiting for this butter to melt up. They do, when it comes to simmering anything, if it says simmer, typically that means cover it and cook it on a lower temperature. It will keep bubbling, but it's not a boil. So when it comes to simmering this chicken, we need it to be covered. We need it to keep that heat in without having to keep the heat up on the stove. That is you, Ashley. All right. We have... Our butter is melted. We want to turn it down. You want to make sure that it's not boiling like that. You don't want it cooking too fast when we start adding our flour in. So I'm going to grab my tablespoon, and again, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of flour. Anytime you're making a roux, you always want your flour to equal your butter or your fat of some kind. You always want it equal parts. So add 3 tablespoons of flour to your butter. And we're going to whisk that around or stir it around with whatever utensil you feel comfortable with. It will thicken really fast. The thing that we're looking for, we want it thick and we want it smooth. So 3 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of flour. We have our oven preheated to 425. We have our chicken simmering on medium to low. I think I messed up. My butter melted and I put the flour in. Yep, so you want your butter melted, you want your flour in, just like that. This is what it looks like. It's just flour and butter, and you're perfect. You're on the right step. Just keep your heat nice and low. We don't want to burn your butter or burn your flour. As long as they're together, actually, you should be fine. As long as they're together, you've got to melt it together and the flour in there. You should be okay at this stage. Our next step is we have our butter melted, we've got our flour in there. cook it together. Then we want to add the 2 cups of chicken broth. The trick with this, don't go dousing your saucepan with the chicken broth all at once. You want to slowly add it in so that the chicken broth can come up to the same temperature as the butter and the flour to create a thicker mixture. What I do, if you've got a carton like this of chicken broth, to make it easier to pour and not glug, glug, glug it your way out, add a little air hole right here so that it'll pour smoother for you and you won't be splattering around. So we're gonna add 2 cups into our liquid measuring cup. You wanna get down to eye level with your measuring cup so that you can see the correct measurement. So we've got our butter and our flour. We're gonna slowly turn up the heat to about medium on there and slowly add our chicken broth. I would say 1/4 to 1/2 cup at a time because we want it to get nice and thick. Ooh. All right. Spilt a little bit, but so just nice and slowly you want it to get up to heat. Ashley, are you doing good? Does it look okay? As we add, see how it's nice and thick? You add it nice and slow. You wait till it gets to almost a mashed potato consistency. You want it nice and smooth, and then we're gonna add a little bit more, just a little at a time, little at a time. So you just wait for it to get up to temperature. Get a medium high on the stove. Oh, my husband's watching, probably drooling out there at work, freezing to death, wishing he had some warm enchiladas in his belly right now. I don't think he was able to take anything out to work ahead of time. Ashley, by the end of this, I'm just hoping that you can be proud of yourself while you're cooking. It's definitely takes a little bit of practice and a little bit of time, but what I found is with most people, they find a recipe that they're really good at and they hold on to it and they have a couple of favorites that their family likes, and that's good enough. You don't need to be an expert connoisseur at everything. You just have your specialty items. I have my mac and cheese, my enchiladas, my salsa chicken. Those are just kind of my specialty items that people, it never fails and they always want it. So just slowly adding this broth in. We've got our chicken cooking. I've got about 4 minutes left on my chicken before I'm gonna check it and see how it's doing. I'm just gonna, the boy's doing okay?
Grayson finished all of his nuggies and he wants more food.
My kids ate their snack already and want more snacks, so I'm just trying to point her in the right direction of something that is a little healthier than the packaged blueberry muffins. So the bottom right of the fridge is kind of like their area. He loves string cheese, carrots. Okay, we're good now. I know, my apron. I looked at myself a second ago and was like, oh my gosh, I don't have my apron on. I was running around the kitchen trying to get myself ready. I was kind of stressing because, like I said, it's kind of a hard task to get the names of people who follow and like my page off of Facebook. It's like nearly impossible. So I was stressing myself trying to do that because I think we're like 1 or 2 follows and likes away from 500, which means at the end of the show or when I put my enchiladas into the oven, we can do another giveaway, which is super exciting. So I have my friend Bree, she's so awesome. She's slaving away at the kitchen table on my Excel spreadsheet, entering in the names of people that have liked the Facebook page in the last day or so. I've been slacking the last 24 hours and it's crazy. All times of days and nights, people come and like the page, so I left behind a little bit. But still just adding our chicken broth to our mixture. My oven just preheated, so I'm assuming and hoping everybody else's is about there to the 425. My chicken is boiling for another 2 minutes or so, or simmering. So I've got my chicken broth in there. Let me know if anybody needs me to slow down. My poor husband is eating peanut butter and jelly. Thank you. My mom bought me this apron, actually. We were out walking around, and she asked me if I liked it and would wear it, and I said, of course. So she bought it for me, and I was in Arizona at the time, so I had to pack it home. I made room for it in my suitcase and brought it home with me. So we have our chicken broth in there. You're going to whisk it until it's completely smooth. And then I'm going to show you guys my chicken broth with my butter and flour. It's a nice smooth color and consistency. Our next step is going to be adding our sour cream, salt, pepper, and our can of chilies. So we need a cup of sour cream. And like I mentioned a little bit earlier, the difference between a liquid measuring cup and a solid measuring cup. So a cup of liquid, a cup of solid. This is for our sour cream. I'm going to scoop a cup of sour cream in here. Yes, Ashley, you can keep your heat on. Just make sure it's at medium or lower than that. You don't want it boiling and getting out of hand if you step away to put your sour cream into your measuring cup. But yes, keep the heat on it. We need the heat to bring the sour cream to temperature and to cream the whole mixture together. So my chicken is done, so I'm just going to pop over and turn the heat off of it, but it'll be fine sitting on your stove like that. If you have bigger chicken breasts or you have more of them, you're going to want to cook yours another 5 minutes or so before we check them. So you have 5 more minutes if you have thicker or more chicken breasts in your pot. Mine were just little chicken tenderloins because I did not read the package when I pulled it out of the freezer last night. So I've got little tenderloins that needed cooked was all. So I'm going to use a spatula and kind of scoop and scrape to flatten and get the bubbles out of the sour cream. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just get your sour cream in your cup. What I typically do at this point is I sprinkle my salt and my pepper onto my sour cream. So when I pour it into my mixture, I kind of have a better idea how much is in there. I typically don't add much salt, like I said, but we love pepper in my family. You can use fresh ground pepper. You can use the pepper that's already ground for you. So we like pepper in my family. Like I said, I don't do a lot of salt, but you are more than welcome to, especially if you boiled your chicken in water. You do have some wiggle room as far as the salt goes. But the way I kind of play it, especially when you're cooking for other people, you can always add salt and pepper in. You can't always take it back out. So it's easier to err on the side of caution and let people season their own stuff. It's just kind of easier that way. So if you're just on here, we talked a little bit about where people were from. We've got someone from Ireland, Texas, Maryland, Rhode Island, Montana. So if you're viewing from somewhere other than that, shoot a comment out. If you have kids, how many kids do you have and how old are they? I've got 2 little boys, one's 4 and one's 2, Kingston and Grayson. They're being good little boys right now and watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and eating some snacks. So they were at daycare all day, so I think they're kind of decompressing and enjoying their snacks. So we've got the sour cream in there, our salt and pepper. Next is our can of chilies. These are the ones that I buy at the store. It's reversed. I am not sure how to change it. There's a way. I'll Google it one of these days. I do the fire roasted diced green chilies from Ortega. They do sell them in different increments of heat, which is nice. My husband does like it spicier, but since he's not here and hopefully the kids will be eating these, I did just go with the less heat. So let's use our can openers, or if you've just got the little pop top ones, let's open them up. with my recipe, I don't drain the juice of it. I like it. Most of the juice has seeds. That has heat to it. I love green chilies, so do the whole can, sauce and all, and pour it right into our sour cream and broth mixture. I'm gonna switch back to my whisk and give it a little turn, kind of get that sour cream nice and melted up. All right, so now this sauce is done. This is ready for our enchiladas. So I'm going to turn the heat off, but I'm going to keep it on the burner so that it stays warm. Our next step, if you cooked your chicken with me, our next step is going to be, we need to shred our chicken. So what I do a big heat-safe bowl, glass, or I used to use glass bowls, and then my mom is awesome, and she got me a set of mixing bowls with lids on Amazon. They're super cute. They each size has a different color, so you always know what lid goes where. I love them. They're awesome. And they have a nice like rubber pad on the bottom of them, so it doesn't sound crazy when you set it on the counter. So I'm gonna take our chicken. Don't burn yourself, everybody be careful. Don't need any scolds on the show. And then I am going to take my chicken, and I am gonna take one piece, grab your biggest piece of chicken, your biggest breast, if you decided to use thighs, you don't always have to use chicken breast, but the thigh works too. Grab your biggest one and cut into the fattest part of it to check if it's done. Bethany, no, you did not miss that step. I have not put the enchilada sauce in yet. My reasoning is I took a recipe that was online and I kind of did my own thing to it. I used to make it as is, and I found that it was lacking a little bit of the Mexican zest feel to it. So I actually started adding the enchilada sauce in on my own, along with the refried beans. So both of those steps you can exclude if you don't like refried beans. If you don't like red or green enchilada sauce, you don't have to have either of them. We will add that in once we have rolled our tortillas all up and we have poured our white sauce on it. We're gonna pour the red and green over the top of that to bake into it. So if you don't like that, you don't have to do it. And with the refried beans, I added them as an extra flavor point, but also to help bring my chicken and my cheese into my tortilla. I was finding that no matter how much sauce I added, the chicken just needed something else to kind of bind together onto the tortilla. So that's I started adding refried beans with that. So what you do is, as long as your chicken is all the way cooked, so don't forget to cut into the fattest, biggest chicken breast you have to make sure that it is completely cooked. If you're just now tuning in to watch with me, we have our oven set to 425. We have our white enchilada sauce made. Our chicken is just got done being boiled. My trick, so here is my chicken. I'm about to shred it. There is the standard way of shredding, and that's 2 forks, and you just crisscross and you go out and you rip and tear and you rip and tear. My mom and I always hated this. We were always exhausted by it. It took forever, especially because we were doing like two helpings of enchiladas. So what we learned, I actually learned it, I want to say on a cooking show, is I learned how to use an electric mixer to shred it for me. Actually, that works. Like Ashley pointed out, what's good about enchiladas is they are laid out in a line. So I don't like green sauce, but my husband does. So I do half red, half green, and just stop right in the middle. Same with the beans. You can use beans in the tortillas of half of them and no refried beans in the other half. It's really it's nice to be able to individually change up the recipe to kind of keep it half and half and fair. What I have learned with shredding my chicken is it loses some of the moisture as you pull the chicken apart. So what I'm going to do is add just a little bit, maybe a fourth of a cup of the water or broth that you boiled your chicken with. Add it back into the bowl that you're going to shred your chicken with, and the chicken will reabsorb some of that moisture so that it doesn't dry out. So I'm going to put you back here. Hopefully you guys can see me. I am going to grab my electric mixer out. If you don't have a mixer and you want to learn how to do it by hand, I will show you. You just grab 2 forks, regular everyday forks, and you're gonna take the chicken, grab one piece into each other and pull them apart. And you're just gonna sit there and just move around and stab and pull and tear, and this will slowly shred your chicken. Super easy, standard way. Easy if you have kids that are a little older, for an easy task for them. It's easy for them to kind of help you. Bethany, good point. Buying a rotisserie chicken is super easy to do, and then you just rip and tear that chicken apart and use that meat. It's a super great idea. It's what my mom has done in the past, so that's awesome. Makes it a lot easier. It makes it quicker to throw it together. I am just looking for my electric mixer attachments. I don't know where they ended up. I might have to do the old fork method anyway. My husband and I always have a different idea about where things make the most sense in the kitchen. So let's just look. Maybe I'll look out and they'll be actually, they're in the container. My husband, he's a thinker. I tell you what, he's more organized than I give him credit for. I would have just tossed him in a drawer somewhere. But he put them back where they belonged, so it's a good husband of mine, I tell you. All right, so the only warning that I give you with this is your chicken's hot. It will splatter. Be careful, don't splatter yourself. Take it slowly. If you're using your electric mixer, use the pulse button or use the slowest setting that you have, because it will get everywhere. Now this is kind of preference too, when it comes to when I make my enchiladas for my mom. She likes bigger pieces of chicken. She doesn't like it shredded up so tiny. So it's kind of your preference if you want big pieces of chicken or if you want it completely shredded up. I like to shred it up as much as possible because my kids do eat it, and I don't want it to be difficult with big chunks of chicken in there. Hopefully everybody's chicken is shredded. If you guys notice that extra water or boiled stuff that I put in there with the seasoning and stuff, it is all reabsorbed back into the chicken, which is nice. It re-moisturizes the chicken as you shred it. So our next step is going to be adding I'm a cheese girl. So what the amount of cheese that the recipe calls for, I maybe accidentally do like double that. So what I do is it says here because we're jumping back to the beginning of the recipe. If anybody cooked their chicken already, we had skipped this part. We're coming back. We're gonna add a cup of shredded cheese into our chicken. I had a friend ask me earlier today, does it matter what kind of cheese you use? No, it's all preference. If you prefer Monterey Jack, cheddar, they have like even a Mexican blend that they make. It doesn't matter. It's all preference of what kind of cheese you like and prefer with your enchiladas. So we're gonna add a cup of cheese. I'm gonna do, it's my cheese, my family. They don't care if I dip my hands in here. We're gonna do a cup of cheese into the chicken. This, if we just cooked our chicken, it will melt quickly. So you're gonna wanna toss it around rather quickly and get it kind of evenly spread so that it can not melt in a big chunk. So, get our chicken all ready, you guys. We are so close to throwing this in the oven. All right. So we've got chicken, tortillas. Somebody also asked me, does it matter what size? It doesn't. It's all preference with size, how much tortilla you want or how big of enchiladas you want to roll. I do the taco size so that I don't have a whole lot of extra tortillas, and it's easier to serve to my boys. So pull them out of your bag. You're going to kind of set up a little train of setting the station up. If you're gonna do the refried beans, I'm gonna open my can of beans, and then you're gonna want either a tiny spatula or a spoon to spread it onto the tortilla. Okay. Sorry, I had to leave for a second. I'm gonna grab out a cutting board. You can use a cutting board, you can use a plate, you can use your countertop if you know it's clean. So what we're gonna do tortilla, beans, chicken. We're gonna roll it up and then we're gonna lay it in our pan. So I'm gonna just shift over a little bit so that we can fit my glass pan into the shot. So let's start doing this. Depending on your pan size, I just do, I don't even know, a 9x13 glass dish. You want it nice and deep, baking pan. You can use a bigger size. Another thing that I've done when I've made more enchiladas is they have those really nice disposable baking pans that have lids on it, the tinfoil type ones, and you can bake in it, store it with its top on, and then toss it when you're done. Or if you want to make this for somebody and bring it to their house and not worry about getting a piece of your kitchenware back, you just make them in those disposable tins with the lids and never worry about it again. So it's super nice that they have things like that. So we're going to grab a little bit of beans. We're going to smear it down the center of our tortilla. We're going to grab some chicken. And you kind of just eyeball it. Stick it down the middle of your tortilla. And then we're going to roll it up. What I do is I start on one end. I bring it about a little over halfway, and I kind of tuck underneath the chicken in the mixture, and then I roll it into itself, and then I set it fold side down so that it doesn't unravel. And we're gonna keep doing that until we run out of space, chicken or tortillas. So whatever runs out first is what'll stop you from what you're doing. So does anybody have any questions thus far? No one really answered my question if anybody had any kids, or who are you cooking for? Are you cooking for yourself, family, husband? Let's get to know each other a little bit. I'm excited to get to know my audience I want us to, get close enough that we can talk about what time works best for dinner. I want to kind of just open this dialogue so that we're not just a bunch of strangers, behind our phones or a computer screen. I want us to kind of be a community that comes together on this cooking site, which would be super awesome if we can all come together and share stories and get to be there for each other's life events, because we're going to keep doing this until we run out. 2 very loud kids. Yeah, mine are being eerily good and behaved, so that's kind of cool. Ashley, that was easy. That's good. Lexi, 2 boys. Looks like we got a lot of 2s. What stopped all of us moms at 2? Why don't we have 3? My husband, I was kind of bounced around the idea of having a 3rd, and he kind of liked the idea that we weren't outnumbered by our kids, and one could take one and one could take the other, and we didn't have a 3rd running amok because we didn't have enough hands or something. But keep going. Hopefully everybody's rolling process is going okay. People are probably faster than I am trying to keep up with some comments. South Carolina, 2 wiener dogs, and your brother. Yeah, your brother better appreciate this. You'll get a lot more good recipes, Andrew. I have 2 dogs and 2 cats as well. So does anybody have any animals if they don't have kids or a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband? Gage is my oldest animal. I've had him going on 9 years now. So he's my buddy, even though he pretends like my husband is his owner and not me. He actually won't even climb into our bed unless Rory's home. He'll sit at the top of the stairs and wait for him unless I make him come to bed. And even then, he'll if I call him up to my bed, he'll come up, give me a couple of kisses, and then jump back off. Anastasia, I have never used corn tortillas. I'm not super familiar with the texture of them. I would say you could use them as long as they are malleable enough that when you go to roll them, they're not going to split on the side. That's my only concern with something that isn't super soft, is you don't want it to rip or break open while you're trying to roll it. It wouldn't be the end of the world. So if it's something that you prefer, it's definitely worth a try. I'd actually kind of appreciate if you do try it out. Let me know so that I can tell people in the future that they can use corn instead of flour. Rory and your husband used to work together. He doesn't work for Eagle anymore? Did he come back home to be with you? No, I want to say I met him once at a company barbecue, and I think you were there, or you had FaceTimed him or something. I feel like I have met you. Okay, so I ran out of space first. I still have chicken, which I told you, it's nice to just have this. I'll stick it in a Tupperware and seal it up, and then it's super, super easy to just make a quick chicken quesadilla for your kids, just on the fly. You just throw it in a tortilla, fold it in half, and throw it in the microwave or on a skillet, heat it up really quick, and it's so easy. And you just cut it up, and once it cools down enough, they could just carry it around the house and not make a huge mess and get a nice snack in with some protein. 3 boys, 7-year-old twins, 7-year-old and twins, 2 cats. Today Todd says he hopes Rory's enjoying that peanut butter and jellies. He's not. He's so mad. I think he even gave up watching us because he didn't want to be hungry. So hopefully everyone's looks like this. What I kind of do is I kind of move them around a little bit to give them a little bit of space for this next step. So I want you guys to go over to your stove and grab your white enchilada sauce you made. So it should be nice and warm coming from your stove. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna kind of just pour it slowly into the creases of your enchiladas. Let it get into the edges, into the corners. I'm gonna pour it on there. Then what I do is I kind of give it a little shake, pick it up, give it a little tap. You'll see little bubbles coming up. Kind of turn it left, turn it right. You want to just fully saturate these enchiladas. Get down into the bottom of them. You can kind of peek and look. Don't pour it on yourself, please. But if you peek and look, you can see mine has gotten into the sides. If I look at the bottom, it has gotten into the underside of it. Now, our next step is an optional step. Like I said, it is something I have added since starting to cook these. And it's because my husband likes spice. He wants it to kind of have a kick to it. He wants the Mexican vibe and feel. So there are two different kinds of enchilada sauce. There's a red and a green. They all come in different strengths of how hot they are. I'm just going to use red. Bree, do you like red or green?
Green.
Green. Just going to use green today. And this can will cover enough, the whole thing. If you're doing both flavors, just be warned, you will probably have half of can at each of them left. They will keep if you put them in an airtight container in the fridge. If you need to want to keep them and use them later, my husband likes when I keep them so that when he heats the enchiladas up in the coming days, he can add more sauce to it, just in case when he heats them up they get a little drier. So we're on our last few steps, guys, and then we can put these in the oven to bake. So we're gonna kind of just zigzag along the enchiladas to get the sauce in there. Go like that, give it a little shake. Now the next step, final step. Hopefully you guys are nice and hungry. And you are going to put cheese on top. So I just do it by the handful. It says a cup of cheese. Like I said, I think I end up using more than that. I cover it so that there isn't a single spot on the enchiladas that doesn't have some nice toasty cheese on it. So that, I believe, is our last step. Yep, add the cup of cheese on top. We are gonna put this in the oven. It says for 20 to 25 minutes. That's about how long it takes to get to boil. But if you and your family are hungrier than that, the oven step, everything in this is cooked. So the oven step is to thoroughly heat everything. Well, if you cooked your chicken ahead of time, you will need that time to heat your chicken up. But since our chicken is hot, our sauce is hot, I put it in the oven for less of a time. I keep an eye on it. Once it starts boiling in the oven, I crack my oven open and I turn it to broil, and that it gives a nice brown crispy texture to the cheese on top. That's basically all I'm looking for, is for it to be hot all the way through and a nice golden brown cheese topping. So our ovens are 425. I'm gonna pop this in and then I'm gonna look and see if we're at 500 likes and follows, and if we are, stay tuned because I'm gonna do a giveaway. So let me pop this in the oven. Make sure, I never said this, but you want the rack that's on the middle shelf. Don't forget to set your timers. Like I said, if you cooked your chicken with me, it won't take long for it to start boiling and coming to temperature. And then, like I said, if you want that nice golden brown cheese on top, just crack your oven and turn it to broil. Please keep an eye on it if you turn your oven to broil. It will burn the cheese really fast if you have the oven closed and you walk away from it. Broil, it turns the upper part of your oven's heat on, so it's a very, very direct heat, other than your oven is an all-around heat, where the broil is above heat only. It is the center rack. I've seen a couple of questions. Middle rack. So excited. Okay, so set your timers. Like I said, if you cooked your chicken with me, the timer is it's not going to take as long. If you're hungry now, pop it in there for probably 5-10 minutes on 425. Throw it on broil if you want that cheese topping, and it'll be ready to eat in probably, so total time, 10-15 minutes. If you are working from a cold chicken state, so a rotisserie chicken that is cold, or a chicken breast that you had shredded earlier today that came out of the fridge, you're going to need the full 20 to 25 minutes to heat the chicken all the way through and melt your cheese. So I am going to set my timer for 10 minutes. And now I'm going to check the Facebook. Who is excited? My kitchen is a mess. I'm normally somebody who cleans as I go, but if that were the case, we would be on here for like 2 hours trying to get this done. So our enchiladas are in the oven, cooking. It's perfect timing. It's 7 o'clock. If you just put your enchiladas in, they are going to be coming out of the oven, and the NFL football game is going to be coming on. It's absolutely perfect, so that your husbands or kids or whatever can turn their football on. I am going to pop over to the page and see how many likes and follows. Okay, so this is kind of tricky. It says I have 501 followers, but 498 likes. So let's just say this: if you're watching me right now and you haven't liked the page, run over and like it really, really quick, and we'll get to 500 on the likes. I am going to close my app out and open it back up and see if that refreshes it a little bit. It is a little different with like using, oh yeah, it loaded a lot. Okay, so let's look now. Look at mom fueling. We'll go to this. We'll scroll down. You guys, 498. Oh, we just need 2 more. Sheila, oh, you were cooking with me. You got your enchiladas in the oven. That's awesome. It's kind of cool to think that, you know, I took cooking instructions from grandma and you and my dad, and now you guys are on here cooking with me. It's kind of cool. So it's super awesome. Yeah, you guys, 498. Come on. Like, we're so close to a giveaway. I know it'll be backwards, but it says 498. We're so close, you guys. Get on there and like and follow. We got Ashley getting me one. Anastasia, you're after bar food over there in Ireland. Awesome. 498, you guys. Let's get some likes on here. I got 2 notifications. Let's see. We got people. We got 2. It looks like Andrew, but I thought Andrew had already liked my page, so he might have like unliked and reliked it. Christopher Degner, that's a new one. So let's see. See, Andrew just did it again. It just liked and reliked it. It's like moving him up the like list. 499. Let's see. It said Christopher Degner too. So let's check. Let's see. Accepted my invite. Let's look. We'll do this. We'll scroll down. It still just says 498. 499. One more like. He followed but didn't like it. Yeah, that's what's confusing. So I have, it says I have, yeah, like different followers and likes, which makes sense. I mean, they are two different options, but I can never find the different options. So like, I think I've only ever liked it once and not followed it. I don't know. So we have 501 followers still, just 501. 502 followers and 499 likes. Oh man, you guys, we just need one more. One more like. That was including Chris Degner. It says it on there. So we got Chris Degner and Andrew Green were our 2 most recent likes. I wish I could figure out how to flip this thing so you guys can read it. But, so it says Chris Degner, Andrew Green, $499. We just need one more to do a giveaway. I think I liked myself already, Dad. Oh, it just says Fueling Hungry Moms has reached 500 likes. You guys, it told me. It sent me a notification. And Grayson sounds happy. See, it says, Mom Fueling has 500 likes. Woohoo! Time for a giveaway. All right. Yes, Justin. Good job, Bethany. Way to get your husband to bring us to 500. So I think I just have my friend Bree adding Chris, Andrew Green. But you got Chris Degner, Andrew Green,
Yep.
and Justin Hufford. All right. So I am going to go grab the computer from her and spin the wheel. All right, I've got the computer here. We're gonna take this. I'm so excited, you guys. Do a fun giveaway. I wish we would have reached 25 and stayed there. 15, 16 is good though. So that, I mean, I don't see how, I think it'll be easy for us next week to get 25 and stay there like this 15 and 16. And then one of you 25 get a giveaway. So that would be awesome. I have full faith you guys can do it. So I'm just copying and pasting these names in right now. We're gonna scroll up. We're gonna go full screen. I'm gonna pop you guys out of this thing. I'm gonna spin around. Okay. You saw 21, I saw 22. What are we talking about? Oh, yep. Yeah, for the live views. Yeah, it fluctuated a lot. I wish that it kept better track of it. But it like just shows me that graph and says like that it either went up or down. I want my sound on so that we can hear it click. But I keep messing the thing up on accident. Oops. I don't want to do that. All right, bear with me, guys. I want it to do the clicky noise because that's fun and exciting. But I don't know how to turn my husband's volume up. There we go. Got it. Okay, let's see if it does the clicky noise. Who's ready? Woohoo! Kind of sounds like a little firecracker. All right, that I'm telling you, Rory's friends have this game rigged. The first one was his friend. The second one was his friend. All right, if you know him, tag him. He is a friend of Rory's that's in a motorcycle gang here in town. Super nice. He's got 2 little kiddos, a boy and a girl. I did see, I think, him pop on here at one point and jump back off, but that's our giveaway winner. So if you tag him, or I can probably tag him, and then he just sends me his information, and then I will send him a giveaway. So that'll be super exciting. My giveaways are all food, cooking, kitchen related. The first giveaway winner got his present yesterday in the mail. I'm not sure if he was home to receive it or not. I just got the notification that it was delivered. So hopefully he gets it and posts it so you guys can see what he won, so you can get excited about things that you could win, sharing and liking and following my page. Yeah, so I have Only 54 seconds left on my oven. So I'm going to pop you guys down again and take a little peek at these enchiladas and see what we're working with. Note to self, at 425, especially with your oven, you need to crack it and keep your face away first. Ooh, you guys, look at those. They're burbling on the sides. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just crack it like this. I'm gonna come up here and I'm just gonna turn my broil on. And it's just gonna slowly brown that cheese. Low network connection. Okay, so I lagged out there for a second maybe. How is everybody else's enchiladas looking right now? Does anybody else have theirs in the oven right now? Can't wait till next time pictures will be taken. Yes. Thank you for reminding me, Ashley. If you guys are baking with me and you baked with me and you have the final product, take a picture and post it on my wall with reviews or tag me or something. It's so exciting. When I made my brownies, nobody cooked with me, but I had 2 likes and follows on my page that baked them later that day or later that week and took a picture and posted and said that their family loved them. It's super exciting to see that things turned out and things were really, really good. Lexi, yours are done and they look good. Phone died, had to still hubbies. I got the 500, Bethany. I did the giveaway. Gert Bethro, that's his name on Facebook. I don't think it's his real name. I can't remember. I want to say Rory calls him Bert. So don't forget, when it is on broil, if you just did what I did, keep an eye on it. Don't let it get too far away from you. Bethany, hopefully your enchiladas look something like this. Getting nice and burbly. Some things I like to put with my enchiladas: more sour cream on top, some guacamole, more cheese, some salsa, some hot sauce, you name it. Mexican, you can add it on there. So good. But I can hear this cheese over here burbling. Yes, I am going to pull these out. Everybody use pot holders and mittens and gloves to pull your food out of the oven. Please don't burn yourself. I would be so sad if somebody posted that they ended up in the emergency room because they didn't listen to me. Don't forget to turn your oven off. My husband came into our bedroom the other night after I had cooked and was like, "Do you still want this on?" And it was our oven. But here is the finished product. That is the nice golden brown cheese I was talking about. It's burbly, it's yummy, it's delicious. My dog is waiting for it. Bree deserves it after all the hard work with the kids. Again, thank you guys so much. I hope your enchiladas turn out. Please post pictures. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to hear how good they are. If you like them, don't like them, what you would change, what you would add, what you wouldn't have put in. I am open to suggestions, changes. Leave reviews. Let me know. It was great baking with you guys again. I had so much fun. I hope you guys did too. Thank you for everyone who participated. I can't wait. I'm sure our next recipe will be a dessert. Kingston said he wanted rainbow cookies with blueberry frosting. That's what he requested. My friend Lacey said she's down for some cookies. So here's your homework. Send me your cookie recipes. Cookies that you love, cookies you've always wanted to try to make. Just spam my Facebook with them. Let me know what cookies you want to make this couple of days, probably this weekend maybe do a Saturday or Sunday dessert treat again. Let me know that too. Comment or post what days work for you, what days are easier for you to bake. Let's get this conversation started and going, you guys. I want to learn about you guys. I want to make friends. I want to be able to call you by your name and ask about your kids. I want this to be a community. So it was awesome baking with you guys. I hope you enjoy your enchiladas like we are about to. All right. Bye, guys. Thank you.